One day, I had a visitor. It was Henry Faja. Wanted to thank me for showing up at his gathering. I thanked him again for the food and waited for his evil intentions to be released upon me. He insists that I join up with his militia. He won't take no for an answer, but I tell Henry Faja that I won't be pushed around, that I've been around a long time and prefer it that way. Some of the friends that I've made during my journeys happen to be very, very tall and strong. Henry says, "I've been around the block too, kid." Then he says, "We're going for a little ride." It wasn't the right moment to fight. I could have lashed out and left him for the vultures, but there wasn't enough at stake. There was more to learn.
You.
Henry pointed out all the different locations he had militia members hiding. They all had radios and were waiting for him to signal for action. Under his wing, Henry Faja had martial arts experts, communication wizards, and software gurus. They were all trained professionals and completely dedicated to the cause. Even our closest neighbors were members of the militia. Henry had been spending over 7 years recruiting the best. I reminded him that I didn't have a trade or any amazing skills of any kind. He told me that he was proud that I was a survivor. He believed that if I were able to keep afloat without the cushions of education and networking, he could find a spot just for me within the confines of his glorious cause. I refused, telling the crazy plumber that he ought to find another stooge to do his bidding. I resented being muscled that way. I had better things to do. The Tempest needed my oxygen to carry on. Henry Faja needed to step aside and let the performance reign free. Not a word arrives from any member of Mrs. Sanchez's family. Another day passes, and the kingdom is maintained. I kept planning for my counter-revolution. A strong, determined guy like me could pull it off alone. All that was required was supreme concentration. I needed to insist that my body make all the right moves. If I needed to kick, it would be done correctly. If I needed to do a backflip, consider it done. This attitude would be essential for the sustainment of freedom. My recruits for the counter-revolution would not be found conventionally. They wouldn't be an ad placed in the newspaper or on the internet. I would have to seek them out in the ether and the atmosphere. I truly could not gain victory alone. My own militia was up to the best people, utter professionals who were masters of computer language, self-defense, and weaponry. The most exquisite thing about my militia was that I didn't need to travel to bring them together. I was able to use my mind to send coded messages that could be picked up and translated by those who knew how to do so. Like any soldiers worth their salt, my men had questions for me. I was the commander and needed to provide answers. They wanted to know how they would be paid, automatic transfers or cash. I was straight with them and letting them know that our militia had no funding, that I myself was existing on ramen noodles and bread and dreams of a better future. There were many moments where I thought the militia might not happen. I told them that the worth of their services would extend beyond any monetary reward. In fact, children might talk about our militia and our defiant stance for generations to come. I had expected them to walk away and never come back. But the men I had gathered were true men who existed on their own islands and operated by a set of their own values. Nobody would push them around. And if they stuck around and decided to make the world a better place, I knew we could be victorious. Giving the pep talk made me famished. I ate 7 bowls of 3-bean salad, 4 hamburgers, and a half a dozen carrots. Interesting how the conveyance of big-time important ideals can somehow burn away calories. I think that if we as a country were constantly promoting or participating in some sort of revolution, we'd all be in better shape physically. My militia members were able to train themselves. They were all smart and talented enough not to require my guidance. They had their own places to sleep, and that suited me fine. I didn't want to be bothered by extra people staying at my homestead. I used my mind to propel myself into the glorious future when art and literature would be no longer threatened by a lousy plumber and his merry band of fascist bison.
I have seen thee and her, and I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee, and thy dog, and thy bush. Stefano, come swear to that. Kiss the book. I will furnish it anon with new contents. Swear. Trinculo, by this good light, this is a very shallow monster. I have feared of him, a very weak monster. Caliban sings drunkenly. Farewell, master, farewell, farewell. Trinculo, a howling monster, a drunken monster. Caliban. Dams I'll make for fish, nor fetch and firing at requiring, nor scape trencher, nor wash dish. Ban, cackle a ban, has a new master, get a new man. Ariel, thou liest, thou canst not. Caliban, what a pie ninny's this, thou scurvy patch. I do beseech thy greatness, give him blows, and take his bottle. What is this saying? Trinculo, this is the tune of our catch, played by the picture of nobody. Stefano, if thou beest the man, show thyself in thy light. Scene 3, another part of the island. Enter Alonso, Sebastian, Antonio, Gonzalo, Adrian, Francisco, and others. Gonzalo, by our lake, and I can go no further, sir. My old bones ache. Here's a maze trod, indeed. Alonso, I will stand to and feed, although my last. No matter, since I feel the best is past. Brother, my lord, the duke, stand to, and do as we. Thunder and lightning, enter Ariel, like a harpy, claps his wings upon the table, and the quaint device that they play. Then to soft music enter the shapes again, and dance with mocks and mouths and carrying at the table. Prosper, bravely the figure of this harpy blessed. Hast thou performed my Ariel, grace it had devouring on my instruction, hast thou nothing baited, and what thou hast to say, so with good life and observation strange, Antonio, I'll be thy second. Exit Sebastian and Antonio, Gonzalo. All three of them are desperate, their great guilt like poison given to work a great time after, now gins to bite the spirits.